Hey YouTube, welcome back to Vintage on Vintage. I'm Steve, and I've been making these videos for pretty close to a year now, and my kids keep telling me that I need to introduce myself to you guys and put my face in front of the camera. So we're going to try that this time. Today I'm going to be making a video response for Clemente Collector. He's asked us to share our most loved cards. I think we all have a lot of those. So I'm going to flip the camera and jump right into sharing my most loved cards. Thanks. Okay, YouTube, so the first card I want to share with you, I shared already. This is my Harmon Killebrew that I showed in one of my videos. This was one of the first cards I remember looking at stats on as a kid. And the other thing I remember, so when I was a kid, my buddy and I, Mike, would ride down to the toy store whenever we had any money, and we'd buy baseball cards. And then we'd go back to one of our places and we'd have contests. And one of the contests was you could pick any two cards that you owned and who had the most lifetime home runs combined. So we would add two players together. And because Harmon Killebrew had 397 home runs at the time, and of all our cards, he was by far the leader, I would always win. And then one day, we went and got it, and Mike early in the pull, he pulled out a 1969 Mantle. And, you know, Mantle didn't play in 69, so he got all his stats, and he took the lead. And he was going to beat me, and then at the very end, I pulled this card, this very well-loved 69 Henry Aaron. And the nice thing about Mr. Aaron, right, is at this point he had 510 home runs. And I was able to take his 510, add them to Mr. Killebrew's 397, and I won the contest again, even though my buddy had a Mantle. And at the time, I would tell you, we were probably both, he was more jealous of me pulling the Aaron, and I was happier to have pulled the Aaron than him pulling the Mantle. We knew who Mantle was, but we were 8 years old. We hadn't watched a lot of baseball. But we really knew who Henry Aaron was, so we didn't know who had the better card, actually. Excuse me. Next card is this Rod Carew, and this Rod Carew, as you can see, is a really well-loved card. It does have a few wrinkles, but then again, after 50 years, don't we all? So this card was really well-centered, but also, as you can see, really well-loved. So... but it's a Rod Carew Gold Cup, and it's a cool card. I've had it this is one of most of these really loved cards are my childhood cards. I've had them for a while. This Mr. Carew is one of the earliest cards I owned because I started collecting cards 68, 69, 70. So this is one of the first cards I owned. So it was probably at the bottom of the shoebox. Gonna flip to a little football now. So in 1970, I believe it was, Topps came out with these tall boy football cards, and I don't know how I ended up with 3 of them, but I did. The first one is Tom Maddie, and you can see Mr. Maddie was really well loved. You know, the problem with this is, like all my other cards, these went into a shoebox. I never wrapped my cards with the rubber bands, but I did throw them in a shoebox and they'd bang around, and these big guys, they took a lot of the beating. The next tall boy was this Carl Eller. And, you know, Carl Eller was a great player for the Vikings. I was a Ram fan, so I hated the Vikings. But I got to tell you, you respected Carl Eller because he was a great player. And, you know, Mr. Eller, once again, he's also been really well loved, but a cool card. And then the last one is this Johnny Unitas. This is a really cool card still. You know, at 8 years old in 1969, this guy was the best quarterback that had played the game. And you got to love the crew cut. Great card, Johnny U. Willie Mays, 65, another very well-loved card, as you can see, but it's Willie Mays, right? So this one wasn't one of my childhood cards. This card, I think I picked it up in a bargain bin because I couldn't pass on Willie Mays even for a buck. For a buck, you know, even as well-loved as he was, I wanted to make sure he came home with me. These next two are the same way. I also picked these up on the cheap. The first one is a Yogi Berra, and you know, this one is it's corners, you know, are rounded, but rounded in a nice way, right? It's a good looking card. Love Mr. Berra. Who doesn't, right? I mean, Yogi Berra is easy to like. And then I picked this card up when I picked it up. This card I got $10, and you know, it's a really cool card. You've got Maris, Cash, Mantle, and K-Line, right? AL Bombers. Really nice card. I am looking for to potentially get a newer version of this card. As a matter of fact, I bid on one last week on eBay, but I lost, probably to somebody who's watching this video. But this is a cool card, and I love having it in my collection. The next card that is this Clemente 64. This is a cool, I love the picture on the 64 Clemente, although I don't know that there's a Clemente card I don't love the picture of. But this one is a really really cool picture, really well-loved card, as you can see. It might even have some writing on it right there on the back. It was so well-loved. So, but that's my Clemente. I have 3 more that I want to share with you. This next one, I actually got graded, and it was in one of my first videos. It's going to be hard to get an angle on this, but it's a second year, I'm sorry, Kareem, when he was Lou Alcindor still, and it's graded as a 2, and you can see it's really well loved along the sides and in the corners. There's a lot of loving going on there, but what there isn't is any creases or any wrinkles. So this is I was really happy. I picked this card up for like $70 off of eBay. I got it graded. It came back at 2. I'm stoked to have this card. I have his second, third, and fourth year cards. The one I don't have is his first year card, and those are really expensive, as everybody knows. So I am in the market for a well-loved Alcindor rookie card, if anybody knows of one. This card I actually just bought, and this is the second year Sandy Koufax, a very well-loved second year Sandy Koufax, as you can see. But, you know, it's Koufax, and he is, in my opinion, the best pitcher that's ever played. So, and it's so well-loved, and the previous owner liked it so much, they even wrote some notes on there. So this one, you know, I'm going to get it graded either way. I don't care if it comes back authentic. It's a second year Koufax. I think I got this card for like $55. So, you know, I will tell you, I will buy well-loved Koufax cards, second year cards, for $50 all day long. And the last card is probably my favorite card, and that's this 1954 Carl Erskine Wilson Wiener card. And the reason I love this card, he was given to me by my dad. My dad gave me like 2 cards. He gave me this, and he gave me a 54 Ed Matthews that at some point my sister got a hold of it. We were fighting, and it got torn. I know I have it somewhere. I couldn't find it in time to make this video, but this Erskine is kind of cool. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about grading it. I know there's some Erskine fans out there. You know, he was a good pitcher. You know, if you don't know Carl Erskine, he pitched for the, excuse me, I had to cough there. He pitched for the Dodgers in the 50s. You know, he was 122 and 78 in his career. He was a one-time All-Star, but he pitched 2 no-hitters, and he struck out 14 players in a World Series game, which was the record for a long time until Sandy Koufax broke it in the 60s. And, you know, this year, he was actually 20-6. It was his best season in the majors. But the more important thing is, like, this one was given to me by my dad. So it, in addition to being a well-loved card, it's a well-loved card. So there you have it. Those are my well-loved cards and my video response. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay safe, and we will talk soon. Take care.